Hey SMU crew, it is time for this week's action challenge, and this is one that has changed the game for me when it comes to being an authority in the social media space. This action challenge is one that I feel is going to cause you to think even bigger than you are already thinking. That challenge is to let your voice be heard. I want you guys to think even bigger than you ever have. I want you to realize that you are an authority in the social media space. You might not feel like you have everything figured out, but that's okay because you have a couple of things that you really understand in a way that others don't. So, what I want you guys to do is to establish your authority and your expertise by creating, pitching, writing, or speaking some type of interview in a highly visible piece. So here's my challenge to you. I want you this week to pitch yourself to 5 big time platforms. And I'm talking bigger than you've ever imagined. So, what does that look like? Well, let's start with podcasts. I want you to pitch yourself to 5 different podcasts that maybe have to do with social media or have to do with entrepreneurs, have to do with business, startups, any of those types of industries. I want you to pitch yourself in a way that they can't resist. Find your angle and send it to 5 different podcasts. Now, I'll be honest with you, don't start with the absolute biggest ones, but think of some of the up and coming podcasts that you could be potentially really excited about being featured on. And I want you to pitch yourself to those 5 podcasts. Or maybe speaking isn't something you're incredibly comfortable with. Well, then I want you to be thinking about major publications. Do you know any writers for Inc., for Fortune, Forbes, Entrepreneur, Huffington Post? Reach out to them. Help them to write a piece. Give that person a voice or a story that has to do with social media. Allow it to be featured, and ultimately, it's going to reflect your expertise. Another great option is to become a contributing voice for those exact publications that I mentioned. As you guys know, possibly I was chosen to be a contributing voice on Huffington Post, and anytime a potential client hears that I'm a writer for a Huffington Post, it instantly boosts my credibility with them. They realize that I'm not just some person working out of a basement, even though sometimes I'm really just working out of my living room. But ultimately, getting yourself to be a contributing voice on one of those platforms that I mentioned or a similar platform is going to add to your credibility, your expertise, and your authority in this space. Or if those 3 options feel a little bit too big, I want you to consider being a guest blogger. Reach out to some different people whose websites you really admire or blogs that you read regularly and tell them that you have a piece that you would love to write for them. Give them a couple of different options for titles. See if it's something that resonates with their audience. More often than not, people are going to say, yes, I would love to feature your voice as a guest blogger. Now, just a word to the wise, you may not want to write for people who are directly competing with you, but perhaps somebody who works directly with entrepreneurs is going to be interested in bringing your unique voice and your unique flavor to the social media conversation. So I highly recommend reaching out to 5 people as potentially being a guest blogger. Now, if you're feeling super inspired, you could reach out to 5 podcasts, 5 major publication authors. You could reach out to 5 different online publications to consider becoming a contributing voice, and reach out to become a guest blogger to 5 major blogs. But I want you to pick one of these to start with and choose to just run with it. Take your voice to the next level, and I promise you that that is going to give you so much authority, so much credibility, and ultimately it's going to drive clients back to you, your website, and the services that you offer. So take action, guys. I can't wait to hear the results of this action challenge.